Hey guys, okay, so in this week's video, we're going to talk about setbacks. When a setback's assessed by the private town planner against the planning legislation, aka the planning scheme, and whether they're assessed by the private certifier against the building legislation, aka the QDC or Queensland Development Code. Now, this is a topic that I literally get questions on every single week, at least once a week. And normally the questions come in the form of an email from a building design professional where they're basically like, and I'm going to paraphrase here, but they're basically like, yo, just got this quote from the certifier. They've got this line item in here for this siding variation thing. They're telling me that I need to go back to council to have the setbacks assessed. Like, I've tried to explain to them that we've already gone through council. We don't need to do this here. And they just don't seem to be getting it. Can you please have a chat to them and explain to them that we don't need that thing and therefore get the quote reduced? Yeah, in that moment I'm like, well, this is awkward. Unfortunately, they're right. See, the thing is, the planning scheme in this instance doesn't control setbacks, so we couldn't actually get council to assess the setbacks in the previous application. So yeah, you need to go back through council. And they're like, what? I don't get it. No matter how many times I explain this to people, in particular seasoned building design professionals, I just don't seem to be able to get the message through to people. And I've been reflecting on that and just going, okay, why is that? Why do people really struggle with this topic? And I think it's because of three key reasons or three key things. First and foremost, Brisbane City Council handles things a little bit differently to the other councils. Some councils combine the process, Brisbane City Council separate the processes. So yeah, if you're used to dealing with multiple councils, you're going to be juggling multiple different ways of handling this and jumping from one to the other, etc., which is naturally going to lead to a lot of confusion. Number two, this whole process is based on a lot of if this, then that type statements, which naturally is going to be confusing. And then last but not least, number three, Brisbane City Council has in more recent times, let's just say, changed how they handled things. They used to be assessed by the building section in council, so the building certifiers within council. Shouldn't call them building certifiers necessarily, building professionals, let's go with that. So they were assessed by the building professionals within the building section within council. Now they're assessed by the town planners within council, and they often like to run the process concurrently with the town planning application, whereas in the past they ran one after the other. So there's a lot of moving parts, changes there, which is naturally leading to the confusion. So I was like, okay, I'm having this conversation with people all the time, and I just don't seem to be able to get the message through to people. One of my favorite sayings is there a different way? Is there a better way? So let's apply that here. Is there a different way of approaching it? Is there a better way of approaching it? Let's create a costume video. Like, what better way to get cut through to people? So I've come up with a bit of a quirky, fun, different way of approaching this topic. It may work, it may fall flat, we'll soon see. But before I jump into it, the big message I want to get across to people today is I'm not literally sitting here saying that certifiers and town planners embody these characters, these desperado characters and these drama sort of queen characters that I'm going to portray in today's video. It's not that literal, like it's not that deep, guys. I'm just trying to come up with a memorable way for people to remember these, memorable way? Yeah, you get what I'm trying to say. For people to remember these rules so that it kind of sticks with them. It's not that serious, so don't go getting offended and all upset because I've called you a character A or character B. We'll show you what character A and character B are in a second. Anyway, let's jump into this. Okay, so when it comes to setbacks, there's kind of three different options we need to talk about here. And in today's video, I'm going to draw on the help of this drama queen over here.
Fake news.
And this desperado down here.
My precious.
To help me explain whose role or responsibility each one of these options is. So the way we're going to tackle this one is I'm going to briefly explain what each of the options are, and then you guys are going to work out who's going to step up and take the ownership of that option. So let's get started. First and foremost, we're talking about large lots.
Gimme.
Whoa. I'm still the president. I get the first say. Continue.
Yeah, okay, so large lot. I'm talking about a front lot that is greater than 450 square meters in area or a rear lot that is greater than 600 square meters in area, excluding the access handle, typically found in like the middle ring, outer ring sort of suburbs. So I'm talking like Stafford, Kenmore, areas like that. Because they're large lots, everyone seems to be spread out a little bit more. They've got a little bit more breathing room. As a result, you don't tend to have these sort of amenity impacts like privacy, acoustic, access to daylight and sunlight. They're not quite as much of an issue as they are when it comes to small lots. Like, they're not that controversial.
No, wait. Not worth my time.
Yeah. Okay, I guess that's your one then. You can take that one. Okay, so now small lots then. So they are front lots less than 450 square metres in area or rear lots less than 600 square metres in area, excluding access handle. You typically find them in the inner suburbs, areas like, I don't know, Woolloongabba, Paddington, Red Hill, places like that. Because they are small lots, everyone's kind of squished in. Everyone's up in everyone's business. As a result, you tend to get a lot more amenity impacts and therefore complaints as a result. Again, being closer to the city, they tend to be properties that come with higher dollar values. So everyone's a little bit more financially invested in these properties. There's a lot more complexity to them. Complaints, they're just controversial through and through. Like, come on, this sounds like it's right up your alley. Surely you want the small lots.
Tell me more.
Yeah, okay. So let's start with exemptions, like single width carports, maximum width 3 metres, maximum depth 6 metres. I don't know, patios less than 16 square metres, things like that.
Boring. No one is going to the media about a silly little carport.
Yeah, okay, you make a valid point. Like, okay, you can have that one too. Look, last one here. Come on, you got to step up and take something here. Small lots, everything that's not covered by the exemptions. Like, this is the most controversial stuff you can have out there. This is the stuff that's almost guaranteed to end you up on a current affair, let's be honest. Like, I've got 2 jobs this year that have ended up in QCAT because people have not been happy with council's decision when it comes to small lots. One of them actually met the acceptable outcomes. And yet the neighbours were like, we don't like this, we want to throw everything at stopping this, we're going to complain about boundary fencing, about this, that and the other. Like, they're just complaining through and through, drama through and through. Like,
Mine.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Now we're talking, hey. Okay, so there you have it. Basically, the town planner, the drama queen, loves the small lot stuff, but not the exemptions. Too bored with the exemptions. The exemptions on small lots and large lots, the certifier, the desperado, they get the sloppy seconds, they take everything else. Really, it is that simple and that straightforward. Now that you understand whose role and responsibility it is for each one of these options, the final thing I want to talk about is what happens within each one of those paths or under each one of those options. You've essentially, no matter who you end up going with, whether it's the town planner or whether it's the certifier, got 2 different pathways you can go down. If you tick the boxes when it comes to the setbacks, so in town planning terminology, if you meet the acceptable outcomes, you don't need to go to council. However, if you want to seek a performance outcome, so go slightly outside the box, then you trigger what's called DA, Development Application, Town Planning Application. It has so many different names, but you basically go to council for approval. Exactly the same thing when it gets to the certifier, except their version of the application is called a citing variation, a relax application, a relax, again, multiple terms, same thing. I think that covers off everything I want to talk about today. As I always like to say, until next time, thanks for watching.
For all you red tape lovers out there, I have one thing to say. Well, no, actually, I've got 3. Number 1, the advice provided in these videos is general in nature. It's not site specific. You would be a silly Billy to go and make financial decisions based on this advice without first checking with the town planner. Don't be a silly Billy. Number 2, Brisbane Town Planning is in no way linked to Brisbane City Council. The views expressed in these videos are my own, not council's. So if you don't like them, blame me, not council. Number 3, what was my number 3? Oh yeah, the views expressed in these videos are accurate at the time of recording. If you're watching this video back 10 years from now, the views may not be so accurate. That's all. Bye.